Welcome to Kevjet, the podcast. Content creator, it's just real.
Hello.
How's it going?
Very good, very good.
You are in Bali.
Yeah, I'm currently in Bali.
Let's just start with that because people who know you from social media and follow you, which you've had millions of views. Why are you in Bali?
I was planning to go to Thailand for a year. Before that, I wanted to travel America for a little while. So I went to Canada for a month. I spent some time in New York, and I had a friend that was in Bali at the time, and they said, "Why don't you come to Bali?" So I kind of just hopped on a plane and come out here, spent a couple of weeks out here, and I was like, I'm not going home.
I don't blame you. So let's just kind of get into your story because there will be people who are tuning in and they will just be wondering, what's this guy about? What's the story? So my first question to you is, if I met your 15-year-old self right now, what would completely surprise him about the life that you are living today?
My 15-year-old self. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting question.
Do you think you'd be surprised where you are today, what you're doing?
I don't actually think you'd be surprised actually. I think you'd be like, okay, yeah, you're living a good life.
Yeah. So you've always thought you'd be doing something great like this.
Not necessarily always thought I'd be doing something great like this, but I mean, I did do music for a long time, so I was kind of in that that environment of being around people doing music and all of that sort of stuff. So always thought that maybe I would make it in music. That didn't happen, and ended up making it somewhere else.
Exactly. What was the moment that you thought, this just isn't content. This is something I could do as a career? Did you have a light bulb moment?
It was like 3 years ago. I started doing this. I started a company. I was working in construction for many years, and I was kind of getting bored of that environment. It's hard work. You're constantly finishing a build and then looking for a new one, and then finishing that one and then looking for a new one. So I felt like I was always looking for work, and I wanted to do something different where I didn't have to rely on other people for income as such, where I have like a boss that tells me what to do or where to go and stuff like that. So I just started up my company. I sat down with a friend and I said to my friend, I said, I'm going to do this content creation. I don't know how it's going to go, but if I have 1,000 followers after 6 months, then I'll consider it like a job well done, basically. If I have 1,000 followers on my TikTok, because I only had TikTok to start off with.
Right.
But if I have 1,000 followers on my TikTok, then I'll be happy after 6 months. And then if I have less than that, then I'll reconsider what I'm doing and maybe try something else. So yeah, that's how it happened.
What part of your story do you think people think that they know, but they have it completely wrong?
I think you're asking me some tough questions. I think a lot of people just assume that I've always been doing this and I've been doing it for a long time, and
Hmm.
I actually haven't. So I think that surprises a lot of people when they find out that I've only been doing it for 3 years, and during that 3 years, I've had 3 billion views. So
It's wild, isn't it?
yeah,
What would happen if the internet just disappeared tomorrow? What would you do?
if the internet disappeared tomorrow, I think a lot of people would be lost. I don't think I'd be one of those people that would be lost without the internet. I mean, although it is a tool to use and it has got me to some places where I may be at now, I don't think that I will be doing content creation for the rest of my life anyway. I have other things in the pipeline that I'm working on. So hopefully they'll come through and I might be able to do something with that.
What would you say the biggest misconception about creating viral content is?
That is easy. A lot of people assume that it's easy. A lot of people assume that once you've had one viral video, that your other videos will instantly go viral, and it's not the case. I did actually, I wouldn't say study, but I was researching marketing about 6 months before I started my channels, and I remember watching a video on YouTube And they said, if you want to be a content creator, what do you need? Which camera do you need? What do you use? How do you do this? Blah, 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 blah. And one of the things that stuck with me was they said that it doesn't matter what camera you use, even if you're using your old phone, which I was to start with, even if you're using your old phone, it doesn't matter. Like people will either like your video or they won't like your video. It doesn't really matter about how great the quality is or all of these things. You don't have to worry about, I see you've got some big cameras in the background, things like that.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about all of that. Just focus on making content and upload, let's say 10 videos. Yeah. And maybe the 10 videos that you upload are 10 different videos. So maybe one of them is about this, one of them is about that, one of them is, different topics, different subjects, and even different forms of filming them. And they said that your viewers will decide what they want to see. So that's kind of how I started my content creation. Because when I first started, I opened my company. It was called More Talent, Less Limited. My idea was for the channel not to even be about myself. It was to be about other people. I wanted to highlight some of the talented people that we have around the world. So I was going to central London, filming people, singing, dancing, doing all kind of stuff like that. And I happened to do a video where, because like on the third or fourth week that I was doing it, I got a parking ticket on my car in central London. So the next week I decided to travel on the underground. A lot of people, well, that's probably a big misconception. A lot of people think that I just use the underground, but actually I don't use the underground. I only use the underground to do my videos. So I was traveling on the London Underground and I had this big, massive speaker with a microphone that I used to let people sing. And I saw a guy walking down the platform and he had his headphones on. And I just made this massive announcement like, you're not allowed to wear headphones on the platform. And my friend was filming and he actually took them off. And that was like my first underground prank video. And from there, I saw that people wanted to see that more than they wanted to see the talented people. So I said, okay, maybe people need to laugh and I'll do more of that stuff. So
I love that, and I actually think about you every time I'm on the tube now because as soon as somebody starts speaking, I'm like, oh gosh, people just need to laugh because nobody looks at each other, nobody speaks to each other, everybody's so miserable. And then when you see your videos and you just think, God, you need more of that in the world.
yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that I was getting early comments, like, don't do this on the tube. You're going to get yourself hurt. There's going to be people that are going to try and attack you. You're going to have like all of this comeback. This is London is such a dangerous place. And I was like, I think I'm all right. I think I'm all right. And when I was doing my videos on the tube, the thing that I noticed the most was like, for a start, before I make my announcement, everyone's just sitting like this.
Exactly.
They're just looking at their phone, or they're just, that London Underground pose where you're just staring at your feet and looking at other people's feet because no one wants to give anyone eye contact on the tube and stuff like that. And then I'd make my announcement and everyone would be looking around. They'd find out who that it was actually me doing this, and it was all a joke. And then the whole carriage would just start talking to each other like they're strangers who've been sitting there the whole ride, and now they're having a conversation about what they've just seen. And it was kind of bringing people together. So a lot of the comments that I was getting from the start was, wow, like this is amazing how you're bringing the London Underground happiness. And I've never seen people on the London Underground smiling so much and, talking to each other and having conversations with each other about something that they've just seen. So it kind of made me feel happy. And I was getting a lot of messages from people just thanking me, like for cheering up their day and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, this is incredible. After 6 months, I've had more thank you messages than the whole time I was in the building industry, like making people livable houses that they're going to live in potentially for the rest of their life, and they haven't got a thank you for me, like, but these people who I've made smile and I've made happy for even just a brief moment of their life are sending me messages to thank me. Like it was
Yeah.
incredible.
I think it's great, and I also think that the people that are watching it as well, the people that are scrolling and they come across it, that just makes people laugh and it makes them feel good. And I know I've been sharing them because I just think they're hilarious, and especially for anyone who takes the tube all the time, and it's just a miserable time, especially if it's rush hour, and then you see these videos and it makes everybody laugh and smile and
Yeah.
it makes everybody feel good, which is amazing. What's the funniest thing that's happened that the audience has never seen?
Funniest thing that's happened that the audience has never seen. It's hard because I think most of the funniest moments are always caught on camera.
Yeah,
To be
yeah,
honest.
and of course, you'd
Yeah.
share all of them because that's what you're looking for.
Actually, I think the funniest thing, but it was caught on camera. But the funniest thing was when somebody stole my phone in central London, and that was actually it was quite hilarious because it was a lady who ran off with my phone. Grabbed it out of my hand, ran off with my phone, and she ran into the Burger King. And obviously, I'm chasing this lady to get my phone back, and she ran in the Burger King, and the security stopped me from going in. They protected this lady, and everyone was just kind of ganging up on me, like, "Oh, why are you attacking this lady? Why?" I'm like, "No, she stole my phone. She stole my phone." And it was funny because that video, I told my friend to record. I said, "Make sure you record this. Make sure you record this." And that night, I was going home with my friend, and I said, this video is gonna go viral. I said to him, I have a feeling this video is gonna go viral. I'd never had a viral video before this. Never had a viral
Oh,
video
so
before this.
that was it.
This was my first viral moment, and I kind of knew straight away that it was gonna be like a really good video, because woman runs off with a man's phone, security's helping the woman,
Of
everyone's
course.
helping the woman until they find out like actually she'd got it shoved down the back of her trousers, like so it was kind of funny. And I woke up the next day and the video was on like 30,000 views on my TikTok, which was like incredible compared to the other videos that was getting maybe 2 or 3,000 views each. And I spoke to my friend on the phone. I was on the phone with my friend. I said, wow, the video's got 30,000 views. And I refreshed it and it was 60,000. And I stayed on the phone with him for about another 10, 15 minutes. And by the time I come off the phone, the video was already on 500,000 views after like 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, wow, this video is going super viral. And it did. It went super viral. It got millions of views. And then people started to come to my channel. And that's when the very first underground prank with the headphone guy, that's when that video started to blow up. So she actually helped me in a way. She really did help my channel in a strange way. She helped my channel because without her, the millions of people that was coming to my channel would have never seen that underground stuff. And from there, the underground video just started to go viral.
Wow, that's a actually very cool story. It's your true story as well, but it's
Yeah.
actually amazing how that all worked because it was actually a bad situation.
Hmm.
Exactly. How do you stop yourself from becoming addicted to views? Like, are you someone who looks at it all the time during the day?
No,
Does it matter to you? Like, do you check all your stats? Like, how often do you look at that stuff?
I
Because I know
mean, when I first started, I was checking my stats and stuff like that. I mean, at one point, I was getting 50 million views every 28 days.
does that put
And
pressure on you?
I mean, it does. Yeah, it definitely does put pressure on you because look, I'll explain it like this. When I first started, it was like, okay, my aim is to get a video with 1,000 views, hit that. Okay, my next aim is to get a video with 10,000 views. Okay, hit that. My next one is 100,000 views. Okay, I've hit that. My next one is 1 million views. Okay, I've hit that. And then you constantly put in these challenges. Okay, and now I need 10,000 likes. Now I need 100,000 likes. Next one is, okay, I've got 100,000 likes. Now I need 1 million likes. Now I've got a video with 1.6 million likes on it, and it's like now when I upload content, I will always say, well, didn't do as good as that one. Do you understand what I mean? So even though you're setting yourself goals and you're beating those goals constantly, you're always trying to strive for more. So in a sense, you always want the views to come in, but then if they don't come in, I'm not so disappointed. I'm just like, okay, that, you know, it is what it is. I can't pressure myself into saying, you must do this and you must do that. Like now, I don't even check my statistics. I don't even look at them and say, oh, this is how much views I'm getting per month, or, you know, because for me, it's like if it's less than what it was before, then I might be disappointed in myself to say, wow, I didn't make 50 million views this week, this month, you know? So am I going to
what do
feel
you
like
think
I didn't
about
achieve anything?
like what do you think about people who post things and it's not getting the traction that they wanted, so they just delete it?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's been a few videos that I have deleted. You know, there's been a few videos that I have deleted, maybe kept them aside for a little while, gone back and uploaded them at a later date, and they've done 10 times better.
Okay.
So I wouldn't always say that deleting content is a bad thing, especially if, let's say, for example, if you've got a million views on 10 videos, on your last 10 videos, and the 11th video does 10,000 views, and then the 12th video does a million views again. Do you really want to keep that 10,000 in the middle of that? You know, because if someone comes to your page and they're looking at your viral videos, they go, oh, well, it's got million views here, million views here, million views here, million views here, but only 10,000 here. So it's like, sometimes it just helps to just clean up your page. So when people come, they're like, okay, this one's got a million, this one's got 2 million, this one got a million, this one got, do you understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, it just kind of helps to clean up your page a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think social media is making us more authentic or better actors?
Better actors,
That's
for sure.
interesting. I thought you were gonna say the opposite.
Nah, 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 nah. Social media does not make us authentic. In fact, I think the whole, I think everything on social media is fake. Even to a certain extent, like as much as my pranks are there and then in the heat of the moment, it's still, it's not real. It's not reality, because it's not something that's happening every day. It's not something that's happening every place. You know, it's just this one thing for this one little video that is then going to go on the internet. And a lot of people act up for the internet. They act completely different to how they are. So I think people are better actors now in general. Everyone's just a better actor. I don't think people are more genuine at all.
I like the answer. It's very honest. Who deserves far more recognition than they're getting right now?
Talented people, the people who I started off filming, they deserve it.
Mhm.
You know, there's people who have massive, great talent and they don't get quarter of the views and recognition that someone like me gets. And it's disappointing for me to look at them and say, wow, they like, I know what they're doing is so much greater than what I'm doing. So why are they not getting the recognition for it? You know, it's kind of sad. But
Although
you know,
I have to say what you're doing does bring a lot of like happiness to people. So that's something that's a great thing that I hope that you do know that you're doing.
yeah, I mean, happiness is one thing, but happiness is only for that moment. You know, happiness is only for that moment. You're gonna watch my video, you're gonna smile, you're gonna laugh. You may even share it to your friends. You may even come back and watch it another 2 or 3 times, but it's not gonna last you for a lifetime. You know,
Yeah.
someone with genuine talent, they're gonna have that talent for their life. You know, I've seen people painting pictures using their feet. You know, like 5-year-olds playing drums like better than any drummer you've ever seen. You know, like these are the kind of people that are really talented, and they should be pushed to the front. They should be pushed to the forefront.
I
That's
love
what I
that.
believe anyway.
I love it. I love your honesty. I'm loving this conversation. What's one video that you'll never delete? I
The Juicy Melon video.
love that one.
The Juicy Melon video. That's my most viewed video. I think it has over 250 million views across my channels alone. And then I was seeing other people who uploaded it like a few days after me, like re-upload, was stealing my content, and their videos was on 25 million views each, and there was two of them, like, so that's another 50 million views. Like to this day, if I type in Juicy Melon video on the internet, like I will find at least 10 or 15 pages that have that video on their page. And it's the best video they've got as well. You know, like it's viral on their channels as well.
Was that like spare of the moment, kind of not planned, just kind of you saw what was happening and you just went for it, or was it kind of staged?
I had the melons. I had the melons, and I was at Euston train station, and a guy got off the train. He was wearing a nice suit, and he said, "I recognize you. I recognize you." And I said, "Okay, thank you, thank you." I said, "Would you like to be in a video?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't mind." I said, "All I need you to do is to stand here and hold these melons." So we just stood there for about 15 minutes waiting for the perfect opportunity, and then it came along. So
I love that video. It's so great. Is there one person that you'd drop everything to collaborate with?
no, I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't think there's anyone out there that I'm like, I'm dying to collaborate with this person. For me, like I said, I don't consider myself special in any way. I don't consider myself talented in such an aspect, like I said about the drummers and the people who paint pictures and stuff like that. So for me to look at other people who are doing similar things that I'm doing, or maybe if they're getting more views than me, it for me it doesn't matter. They're still a human being. I'm still a human being. So if we've got time for each other, then we can make it happen. But I'm not gonna drop everything for any person in particular.
I like that. Finish this sentence. Success means nothing if.
If you have no one to share it with, you can be
Yeah,
successful and all alone. And everyone needs people around them. You need good people around you. You need loved ones around you. You need to have someone to love, someone who loves you back. Like, so yeah, success is nothing if you don't have anyone.
imagine it's 20 years from now. What do you hope people remember about It's Just Real that has nothing to do with the views?
That it was genuine. The stuff that I was doing was genuine from my heart, trying to bring London together and unite this, you know, this population that we have that seems to be so drifting apart. That's the one thing that I would love for people to remember.
If this podcast became the last interview you ever gave, what's one truth you'd want millions of people to hear before the camera turned off?
One truth.
Big questions here.
I think the one truth that I have would be probably the same for everybody who starts to get on in life. And that is that we're all going to die. We're all going to die. And no matter how much you think about it, like you never know when it's going to happen. You never know how it's going to happen. And I think that is the scariest thing about life, actually, is that you never know when you're going to die. And we don't know what happens after death as well. So we can have beliefs. We can say, oh, hopefully we're going to go to heaven, or maybe there's a heaven and a hell, or maybe there's reincarnation, or whatever it might be. But no one's here to definitively tell you that that is what's going to happen. So I think that's the most scariest thing about life, and that's the one truth that I'd say that reflects to me and probably many other people as well.
I like to finish up my interviews with a little bit of quick fire questions. Are you up for that?
Yeah, sure.
The worst DM you've ever received.
I used to get quite a few messages from this guy on Instagram, and he just almost became obsessive to the point where I had to block him. And I hate to block people, but this guy was not even interested in my videos. I don't think. I think he was just interested in me. He never left a comment on my videos. He'd never like my videos, but he was always in my DMs trying to send me messages every day, every day, every day, to the point where I had to first restrict him, and then later on down the line, I just said, you know what, it's easier if I just block this guy because he seems like a bit of a weird one.
That must be a weird thing because as people get to know you, well, people see you all the time online. They must feel like they know you already. So if they run into you on the street, do you always find it awkward when someone stops you?
No, I mean, before I left London, I would get recognized every day. And got to the point I was taking at least one selfie a day with random person, even if it was just on my way to the shop, or, on my way to see a friend. I'd run into someone. They'd be like, "Oh, you're the guy from the tube. Can I get a selfie?" Yeah, no problem. I was always happy to give people selfies. That was something that actually cheered me up as well.
Has the tube ever have they ever reached out to you?
No, when I first started doing it, I did get a bit of kickback from the staff. They used to jump on jump on me and stuff like that and say, "What are you doing on that platform? Like, get off our
Oh,
platform."
really?
Yeah, when I first started doing it, I even had one occasion where I was on the train with the speaker and I was doing like a kind of almost like a stand-up comedy on the train just to try and cheer people up. And the driver stopped the train and he got out of his carriage and he came all the way down to where I was on the train and was like, "You can't do this, you can't do this." And there was an elderly white woman about 65, 70 years old, and she stood up for me, and half of the people on the carriage stood up for me, and I was like, at that point, I realized it was one of like the turning points that I realized that people was actually willing to back me and stand up for me because I was there to make their life that little bit more happier, even if it's only for 5 minutes on the train, you know.
Yeah.
So things like that is what gave me inspiration to carry on. By the end of it, it got to a point where I would make an announcement on a train. A few times, I even heard the driver come on the train and copy my announcement style. I was invited into the driver's carriage to make an official announcement on their telephone, you know, like so things like that. It's just like, and then I become more accepted by the London Underground to the point where the staff would recognize me and they'd be like taking pictures with me themselves and, "Oh, I love your videos," you know. So at the start, there was a lot of pushback from them. But then after like 6 months to a year, it was like, okay, they know who I was. They know that I'm not doing no harm. Let's get a selfie with him.
If you had to prank one world leader, who would it be?
Maybe Kim Jong Un. I think Kim. I think Kim because I think he would actually appreciate it, and I think he has a sense of humor that people don't understand as well. So yeah, I think maybe Kim Jong Un would be a great person to prank.
Which British stereotype is 100% true?
Most of us are miserable. It's
Have to,
true. We're
I
not. We're
have
not.
to agree with that. Yeah.
We're not happy. We're not happy with. We're not happy with anything. You know, like we're not happy with the prices of things. We're not happy with traffic. We're not happy when it's hot. We're not happy when it's cold. We're not happy when it's raining. We're not happy when it's cloudy. We're just not happy people. I don't think. And I think that is sad because it is a great country, but if people are always depressed, then that depression is like it spreads, you know, like it spreads to other people. Your depression will spread to another person, that will spread to another person. Before you know it, the whole population is depressed. If one person's happy and they make another person happy, then that person might make another person happy. And it's like, you know, pay it forward sort of thing.
Which
But
is what your content is doing, and
yeah,
that's amazing.
we're paying it forward with depression at the moment. So I think we need to get out of that stage and find some leaders that is actually going to run the country a little bit more better. Because I don't think the leaders that we have of our country for the last few years have done anything to help us out. They've just done things to benefit themselves and their friends and stuff like that. This is one thing. Actually, if I was 15 again, I would probably think about getting into politics. And potentially, I would love to be the prime minister of the UK. And I always said that in the 2028 election for the mayor, I'm thinking about running for the mayor as well. So hopefully, I'll have the people backing me who
Yeah.
can take back our city and make it a great place, the great place that I grew up in.
Amazing. Amazing. If your life became a Netflix series, what would the title be?
The title would be no, that's a great question. My life become a Netflix, and then prankster who made London unite.
It's a good title. It's a very good title. One video that still makes you cringe.
Cringy videos, cringe, cringe. No, not really.
What is your most useless talent?
My most useless talent depends who's asking. I have a photographic memory for directions, but I don't think that's useless.
That's not useless. That's very useful. Yeah.
Yeah, helps me to remember I never get lost anywhere.
I'm the same. I love that. If your phone gallery leaked tomorrow, what would surprise people the most?
I think the thing that would surprise people the most actually would be the lack of pictures of myself on it. I have pictures of other people, I have videos of other people, and I have pictures of me with other people, but I have very minimal pictures of just me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very safe answer. What's the strangest thing you've ever Googled?
Strangest thing I've ever Googled. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think I really like Google things like that. Google strange things. I wouldn't say so anyway. Phew, that's a tough question because I don't really know. Like,
Yes, some people come right out and they're like, "Oh, I googled like do plants hear us?" Like they'll come out with something really wild and right away, but you often know if that's something that you would know that's the character that you're speaking to.
I mean, I've watched videos about do plants speak to each other and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I've Googled it. I do watch a lot of documentaries. That's like probably my favorite thing to do is watch documentaries. So I'm always watching different documentaries, whether it's animals, whether it's the planet, whether it's other planets or things like that. So yeah, I put. I think maybe my YouTube search history like might be a better question to ask. I have searched for some crazy things on YouTube, like hollow Earth theory and what's really in the North Pole and stuff like that in the South Pole.
what is the best DM you've ever received?
The one that sticks out to me is one day I woke up to a message from a guy who said that he was thinking about ending it and he was actually going to go through with it 6 hours prior to this message. But he came across my page and spent 6 hours scrolling through every single one of my videos. And at the end of it, he said that he felt so much better now that he doesn't want to end it. And that just, that it made me feel it was incredibly powerful and just like what my videos are doing for people, even in a mental state like that you're thinking about ending your situation and you've come across this funny channel that's just brightened up your day to the point where you think, you know what, I don't want to end it and I'm going to carry on pursuing and persevering and trying to, make the best of what I have.
It's amazing. You have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and yet we're talking about you answering your own DMs.
Yeah, I always reply to my DMs if people ask me questions that's relevant, rather than just something random and strange. I try to reply to comments. I like every single comment on every single video, which sometimes takes up half of my day because some videos have 10,000 comments, and I'm still liking them to this day. But when I get round to it, everyone has a heart liked by the author,
Right.
like creator. So, and I think that just makes people feel a little bit special because they're like, okay, this guy's got thousands of comments, but he still took the time to read my comment and like my comment.
I love that.
It's like my own little touch.
Just finally, my last thing is if you were to make an announcement on your megaphone about Kevjet the podcast, what would you say?
What would I say? I'd probably say something like, the London Underground does not allow pointy hair on the tube. No pointy hair allowed on the tube. Please comb it back. Thank you very much.
And I'd be like, "Oh, shit, I need a refund on this journey." Amazing. I loved our conversation.
Me too.
Thanks for joining Kevjet the podcast.
You're welcome.